Have you ever been told to just let it go, only to feel even more weighed down by the sting of someone's words or actions? What if you could walk through life with unshakable calm, acting as if nothing could hurt you? Today, we'll unlock the secrets of ancient Stoicism to help you master the art of resilience. Imagine a life where insults roll off your back, failures become stepping stones, and emotional wounds no longer have power over you. Let's dive into this transformative journey together. Stoicism, a philosophy over 2,000 years old, isn't about suppressing your emotions or being cold-hearted. It's about cultivating the inner strength to face life's challenges with grace. Inspired by the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus today, we'll explore practical strategies to act as if nothing hurts you, even when life throws its worst at you. Stay until the end, and you'll walk away with the mindset of a modern-day Stoic. Let's begin with one of the most powerful teachings of Stoicism. It's not the event that hurts you, it's your perception of it. This profound insight comes from Marcus Aurelius, who said, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your judgment of them." Now think about that for a moment. What does it truly mean? Let's break it down. Imagine this scenario. You're at work, and a colleague dismisses your ideas in a meeting. The sting you feel isn't from their words alone, it's from how you interpret those words. Perhaps you see it as a sign of disrespect or a challenge to your competence. But what if you reframed it? What if, instead of taking it personally, you saw it as a chance to refine your ideas or even an opportunity to grow thicker skin? Parenting, it's just a moment, driven by a child's emotions. By not letting judgment from others or their own insecurities cloud their thinking, they stay calm and focused on resolving the situation. This is where Stoicism shines. The philosophy teaches us that events themselves are neutral. It's our mind that assigns them meaning, and that meaning dictates how much pain or peace we feel. Let's take another example. Picture a child throwing a tantrum in a store. Some parents might get flustered, worrying about judgment from others. But a Stoic parent sees the situation differently. They understand the tantrum isn't an attack on The Stoic approach is to stop this spiral before it starts. Instead of adding layers of judgment, we strip events down to their bare facts. Here's the key: to act as if nothing hurts you. You must master this mental reframing. It's about asking yourself, why is this upsetting me? Is it the event, or is it my perception of the event? The answer is almost always your perception. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. When we replay an insult, overanalyze a rejection, or dwell on a failure, we amplify our pain far beyond the original event. The Stoic approach is to stop this spiral before it starts. Instead of adding layers of judgment, we strip events down to their bare facts. Think of it like this. Imagine you're watching a movie. If you don't like what's happening, you don't get angry at the screen, right? You simply acknowledge, this is part of the story. Stoicism invites us to treat life the same way. When something painful happens, step back and view it objectively. Say to yourself, this is part of my story, but it doesn't define me. Another practical tip comes from Epictetus, who reminds us to focus only on what we can control. Ask yourself, is this event something I can change, or is it out of my hands? If you can change it, take action. If you can't, let go of the emotional weight. Worrying about the uncontrollable is like trying to stop the rain. It's pointless, and it only makes you miserable. Ultimately, the source of pain isn't the world around us, it's how we process it. By mastering our perceptions, we can transform even the harshest challenges into opportunities for growth. So the next time life throws you a curveball, pause and ask yourself, am I suffering because of what happened, or because of how I'm choosing to see it? That question alone can shift your entire perspective, giving you the strength to act as if nothing hurts you. Let's dive into one of the most liberating concepts of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught us to distinguish between what is within our power and what is beyond it. This simple but profound idea can change how you navigate life's challenges. Here's how it works. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on the way to an important meeting. You feel the frustration bubbling up. The clock is ticking, the cars aren't moving, and you're panicking about being late. Now ask yourself, what part of this situation can I control? Can you control the traffic? No. But can you control how you respond to it? Absolutely. This is the core of the Stoic approach, redirecting your focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable. Instead of wasting energy on frustration, you can take a deep breath and focus on what you can do. Use the time to prepare mentally for your meeting or listen to an inspiring podcast. By focusing on your reaction, you reclaim your power. By choosing to excel regardless of recognition, you maintain your integrity and peace of mind. Now let's look at another example. Picture this. You've worked hard on a project, but your efforts go unnoticed by your boss. It's tempting to feel hurt, undervalued, or even angry. But again, ask yourself, what part of this is within my control? Can you control your boss's opinion? No. But you can control the quality of your work, your persistence, and your attitude. Releasing the need to control others is a radical act of self-care. Here's a powerful way to think about control. Life is like a ship at sea. You can't control the weather, the waves, or the wind, but you can control how you steer the ship. You decide whether to panic in a storm or calmly adjust your sails. When you focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, your effort, you become the captain of your own life. Now, this isn't about ignoring the things outside your control, it's about letting go of the emotional weight they carry. Too often, we waste our energy worrying about things we can't change, other people's opinions, past mistakes, or even the unpredictable nature of the future. But Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This principle is particularly useful in relationships. Let's say a friend or partner doesn't respond the way you hoped. Maybe they're distant, dismissive, or unkind. Can you control their behavior? No, but you can control how you choose to engage with them. Do you react with anger, or do you calmly set boundaries? Do you chase their approval, or do you focus on your own self-respect? Here's a practical exercise to internalize this lesson. The next time you face a challenge, pause and ask yourself 2 questions. 1. What part of this can I control? 2. What part of this is beyond my control? You're mastering them. Then, take action on the first and release the second. It's not about ignoring the problem. It's about prioritizing where you direct your energy. When you do this consistently, you'll notice something amazing. You feel lighter, freer, and more grounded. The beauty of Stoicism is that it shifts your focus from frustration to empowerment. By controlling what you can and releasing what you can't, you act as if life's challenges don't hurt you. You're not ignoring the difficulties. So the next time you're tempted to stress over something beyond your power, remember this: you hold the reins to your reactions, your actions, and your mindset. And in the grand scheme of life, that's all you truly need to stay resilient and strong. Let's explore one of the most underestimated tools in the Stoics' arsenal: silence. Seneca, the great Roman philosopher, once said, "Silence is a lesson in itself." In a world where noise often overshadows wisdom, learning to use silence as a shield is one of the most powerful ways to protect your peace and act as if nothing hurts you. Now, imagine this scenario. You're in a meeting, and a colleague openly undermines your ideas. The sting of their words hits, and your instinct is to react, to defend yourself, to fire back with your own cutting remark. But what if instead you paused? What if, instead of reacting, you let silence do the talking? Here's the secret: silence isn't weakness, it's control. When you respond with silence, you regain power over the situation. Your lack of reaction sends a powerful message. Your words don't define me, and they don't deserve my energy. By staying quiet, you protect your inner peace and refuse to let someone else dictate your emotional state. Think about this. In nature, storms rage and winds howl, but mountains remain silent and unshaken. Be like the mountain. Silence isn't about ignoring the situation, it's about mastering your emotions and choosing not to give unnecessary weight to the noise around you. Silence is also deeply unsettling for those who seek to provoke you. When someone expects an emotional outburst and instead receives calm indifference, They're left to face their own behavior. It's like holding up a mirror, forcing them to reflect on their actions without you saying a single word. Let's look at another example. Suppose you've been insulted by someone in a social setting. The immediate urge is to retaliate, to protect your pride. But what happens when you simply smile and remain quiet? Your silence not only shows maturity, but also communicates that their words hold no power over you. It's a quiet confidence that speaks louder than any argument ever could. Now, using silence doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or avoiding necessary confrontation. Instead, it's about choosing when to engage. A Stoic's silence is strategic. It allows you to pause, reflect, and decide whether the situation deserves your energy. Ask yourself, will my words improve the situation or will they escalate it? For moments when you must speak, the Stoics advise speaking with intention. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Sometimes the best way to respond to provocation is through your actions, not your words. Show your strength through composure, your integrity through restraint. Practicing silence also strengthens your ability to reflect and grow. In those quiet moments, you have the space to process your emotions, realign your thoughts, and decide how to move forward. Silence becomes not just a shield, but a teacher, a way to learn about yourself and how you want to respond to the world. Here's a practical exercise to harness the power of silence. The next time someone tries to provoke you, pause. Count to 5 before speaking, or don't speak at all. In that pause, ask yourself, what will my silence say in this moment? You'll be surprised by how often silence becomes the most powerful response. Silence isn't about ignoring the world around you, it's about protecting the world within you. It's a shield that guards your peace, a tool that diffuses tension, and a practice that strengthens your resilience. By mastering silence, you act as if nothing hurts you, not because you're indifferent, but because you're in control. Remember this, the loudest voice in the room isn't always the strongest. True strength lies in knowing when to stay quiet, when to speak, and when to let your actions do the talking. That's the power of silence as a shield, and it's one of the greatest lessons the Stoics have to offer. Let's talk about turning pain into power, one of the most transformative lessons from Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and philosopher, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the essence of Stoic resilience, taking what hurts you and using it to propel yourself forward. Now picture a moment in your life when you faced a setback. Maybe you were rejected from a job, criticized for your efforts, or let down by someone you trusted. In those moments, it's easy to let pain take over, to feel defeated, powerless, or stuck. But what if, instead of seeing pain as a barrier, you saw it as a bridge? Let me give you an example. Imagine you're an artist, and your work is dismissed as unoriginal by someone whose opinion you value. At first, the sting of those words feels unbearable, but a Stoic approach would turn that pain into a spark. Instead of wallowing in self-doubt, you might ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this feedback to grow? You could dive deeper into your craft, exploring new techniques or themes. That rejection, instead of breaking you, becomes the fuel that drives your greatest masterpiece. This is what it means to transform pain into power. It's about seeing every setback as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Let's take it further. Picture a ship sailing through rough waters. The waves are high, the storm is relentless, and the ship seems on the brink of capsizing. But as the storm rages, the crew doesn't despair. Instead, they adjust the sails, reinforce the ship, and navigate through. By the end of the storm, the ship is stronger and more seaworthy than ever before. That's you. Life's storms are not there to sink you, they're there to refine you. The Stoics believed that adversity is life's greatest teacher. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body. Pain is like a workout for your soul." Each challenge, no matter how painful, is an exercise in resilience. Every time you face rejection, failure, or hardship, you're given the chance to strengthen your inner core. But how do you put this into practice? Start by reframing the way you view pain. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I gain from this?" The shift in perspective is powerful. It turns you from a passive victim of circumstances into an active participant in your own growth. Here's another practical tip. Set a small goal after every painful experience. If you lose a job, focus on acquiring a new skill. If someone criticizes you, channel that energy into improving yourself. These small, intentional actions not only redirect your focus, but also help you regain a sense of control. Lastly, embrace the idea that pain often signals potential. Think about it. The muscles you strain in the gym grow stronger. The seeds you plant in the harsh soil produce the most resilient crops. And the struggles you face in life? They shape you into someone extraordinary. When you transform pain into power, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're taking life's hardest moments and turning them into the foundation of your greatness. So the next time you're knocked down, remember this: pain isn't your enemy. It's your ally pushing you toward the best version of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius would say, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Let every challenge you face light the fire of transformation within you, and let that fire guide you to your fullest potential. That's the true power of Stoicism. Let's explore one of the most liberating principles of Stoicism: detaching from external validation. In a world driven by likes, comments, and approval, we often tie our self-worth to how others perceive us. But the Stoics remind us that true strength comes from within. As Epictetus wisely said, "Seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves." Imagine this. You post something you're proud of on social media, a photo, a piece of art, or even a simple thought. But the response isn't what you expected. Few likes, no comments, and maybe even a critical reply. Suddenly, self-doubt creeps in. You start questioning your worth, wondering, did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? Validation, the belief that our value is tied to how others respond. The Stoics teach us to break free from this trap by focusing on what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our values. Think about this. External validation is like chasing the wind. No matter how fast you run or how hard you try, it's always just out of reach. Even if you catch it for a moment, it slips through your fingers. But when you anchor your worth in something internal, your principles and your personal growth, you create a foundation that no one can shake. Here's a powerful Stoic exercise to help you detach from external validation. The next time you feel the sting of rejection or the pull of needing approval, pause and ask yourself 2 questions. 1. Does this person's opinion change who I am? 2. Am I living in alignment with my values? If the answer to the second question is yes, then you're already succeeding. The Stoics believed that our worth comes from living virtuously, from being honest, kind, courageous, and disciplined. Whether or not others recognize these qualities doesn't matter, because your integrity speaks for itself. Let's take another example. Imagine someone criticizes your work at your job. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt, a Stoic reframes the situation. They think, is this feedback constructive? Can I use it to improve? If the answer is no, they let it go. Why? Because their self-worth isn't tied to someone else's approval. It's tied to their commitment to doing their best. This mindset also helps you navigate praise. The Stoics weren't against enjoying compliments, but they warned against becoming dependent on them. Seneca said, "A person who seeks applause has forgotten how to be happy." When you rely on praise to feel good, you give others control over your happiness. A Stoic, however, finds fulfillment in the effort itself, not the applause it might bring. Detaching from external validation isn't about ignoring others or being indifferent. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about knowing that your worth isn't up for debate, no matter what anyone else says. Here's a practical way to practice this in daily life. Whenever you complete something, whether it's a work project, a creative endeavor, or even a small act of kindness, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, am I proud of the effort I put in? If the answer is yes, let that be enough. Celebrate the process, not the response. In the end, the Stoic path to freedom lies in self-reliance. When you stop chasing validation from others, you free yourself from their opinions, both good and bad. You discover a deeper, more lasting sense of confidence, one that comes from within. So the next time you're tempted to seek approval, remember this: you are your own judge and jury. Your worth is defined not by what others see in you, but by how you choose to live. Detach from the fleeting applause of the crowd and anchor yourself in the steady, unshakable foundation of your own character. That is the essence of true freedom and the heart of Stoic wisdom. Let's delve into one of the most powerful Stoic practices: daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, had a habit of journaling every evening. He would ask himself questions, reflect on his actions, and realign his thoughts. This practice wasn't just about self-improvement. It was about cultivating inner peace and resilience. Imagine this: at the end of a long, chaotic day, you sit quietly with a notebook or even just your thoughts. You ask yourself 3 simple questions. 1. What went well today? 2. What didn't go as planned? 3. How can I improve tomorrow? This process of reflection isn't about judgment. It's about understanding. It's about looking at your day with honesty and compassion, identifying areas for growth, and celebrating your progress. The Stoics believed that growth comes not from perfection, but from consistent effort. Think about it. How often do we rush through life without pausing to evaluate, without asking ourselves if we're living in alignment with our values? Reflection gives us the space to course correct. It allows us to stop, look inward, and ensure that our actions align with who we want to become. Here's an example. Let's say you lost your temper at work today. Instead of beating yourself up about it, use reflection as a tool. Ask yourself, what triggered me? How could I have handled that situation better? By examining the moment with curiosity instead of judgment, you learn from it and prepare for a better response next time. Daily reflection also helps you recognize patterns, both good and bad. Maybe you notice that you're more patient on days when you've had enough sleep. Or perhaps you realize that certain environments or people tend to test your composure. Armed with this self-awareness, you can make intentional changes to navigate life more effectively. But reflection isn't just about fixing mistakes, it's also about gratitude. The Stoics emphasize the importance of acknowledging what's going well in your life. Seneca once said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." When you reflect on the positives, big or small, you train your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. This simple shift in perspective can transform your outlook. Let's take it a step further. Reflection isn't just an evening practice, it can be a moment-to-moment habit. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to pause throughout the day and ask, "Am I acting in accordance with my principles?" By doing this, you stay grounded and mindful, even in the midst of life's chaos. If you're new to this practice, here's a simple way to start. Spend 5 minutes each night reviewing your day. Write down one thing you did well, one thing you could improve, and one thing you're grateful for. Over time, This habit will sharpen your self-awareness and help you approach each day with more intention and clarity. Reflection is like tending a garden. Each night you pull out the weeds of regret and plant seeds of growth. Over time, that garden becomes a sanctuary, a place of wisdom, peace, and resilience. So, as you go through your day, remember this: growth isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. And when you take the time to reflect, you give yourself the greatest gift, the chance to become a little better, a little wiser, and a little more at peace than you were yesterday. That's the Stoic way. Acting as if nothing hurts you doesn't mean you'll never feel pain. It means you'll no longer be controlled by it. By mastering your perception, focusing on what you can control, and building inner strength, you can navigate life with unshakable calm. Now it's your turn. Which Stoic principle from today's video resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found value in this journey, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Together, let's embrace the wisdom of the Stoics and build a life where nothing can truly hurt us. Stay resilient, stay stoic, and until next time, keep moving forward.